Hi guys. So if you can tell by the title, I'm gonna be telling y'all my story of meeting Niall. Can't believe I actually met him. People said they either want to know the whole story, like the backstory, or they just want to know the story about me meeting him. So I'll put in the description what time of the video is when I'm gonna start actually when I met him. And if you can't understand me, I'm sorry, but I lost my voice at the show and I was gonna wait to film it, but I got too excited and I'm just like so emotional over it still. And I wrote down some notes so that I don't forget anything like that is important. I feel like because I feel like I might forget if I'm rambling. I met him in Nashville on Monday, and his Atlanta show was Friday, the day before, or not Friday, but like the Friday before his Monday show at the Ryman. And so I knew that, like, since I bought the tickets, I knew I was just gonna go to Nashville like Friday night and then spend all weekend trying to meet him. Because if they have a break, normally that's when they'll be out doing stuff. And Niall loves Nashville, so he was like, I felt like he was gonna be out doing stuff or whatever. I couldn't leave on Friday because something for school had come up, so I got up early Saturday morning at like, I was gonna leave early at like 7 or 8, but my friend lives in Nashville, so my friend had to work. And so I was like, okay, I'll just sleep in Saturday and leave at like 12. So I left at like 12 after 8, got done eating lunch. And I got to Nashville at like 3:15 or so, and I meet my friend at her work, and she got off at 4 o'clock. So it wasn't that long of waiting. Like, we left at 4, went straight to downtown. And I'm like, okay, if we were Niall, like, we would be out drinking. If you've never been to Nashville, there's like this whole entire like strip of bars and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's where he's gonna be. Like, if he's gonna be anywhere, that's where he's gonna be on a Saturday night. I thought Topgolf would be it, but Saturday night there was a concert going on, and so we didn't like decide to go there because it was so crowded. We went there because we couldn't find free parking, so we went there and we're like, okay, no, it's too crowded, Niall wouldn't be here. But we went inside anyway, and we're like, this is a pretty cool place. But then we left and we went to the rest of downtown, and we paid for parking, which was horrible because we're both so broke. And so we paid for parking, and we just start walking like around the strip, just like up and down, and it was so freaking crowded. And I was like, there's no way we're gonna see Niall. Like, there is too many people just running around, like too many drunk people just everywhere. And so then we're like, okay, maybe he's staying, because the Ryman is literally just right off the strip. And we're like, okay, maybe he's staying at like the Renaissance or like the Omni Hotel or somewhere like near the venue. And so we decided to just go. We went to the Renaissance Hotel. Didn't really see anything. Okay, so we went back to the strip and we just were walking around. And I was like, okay, let's just go ahead and find like a bunch of like hat and guitar shops that was like, I thought he might be at. Not necessarily Saturday night, but like maybe like Sunday or Monday. So we go into this hat shop. I was like, those are the kind of hats he would wear. And we go to this other like hat shop and like a shoe shop, like boots and whatever. And then like there's a guitar shop we went into as well. And then we were like checking Twitter, like nothing was on Twitter. And I was like, oh my god, where is he? We're freezing. It was like probably 50 degrees. We were so cold. So we just went to this like shop, and we're like, we don't know, like I don't know what to do. And we were sitting in the shop, this guy tweeted, and he was like, I met Niall. And I was like, what the heck? And I was asking him where and stuff, but he didn't reply, which I wasn't expecting him to, because I wouldn't do the same. Tweeted, and he was like, he was at this bar and we like met or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, he's at a bar. And I noticed my mutual that I have mutuals with, she was like tweeting him as well, and she was like, where? Like, we're looking for him. And so I messaged her, and I'm like, oh my god, you're looking for him too? Let's like look together. So we do that. I was like, okay, well, we're just gonna head to the Renaissance and we can meet there. So that's what we do. We go to the Renaissance and then we meet. And then when I was walking to the Renaissance, I saw a silver bus that looks like his bus, like no joke. And I literally screamed and like burst into tears. And my friend was like, calm down. And like I stood by like the bus and we were waiting on them to show up. And then like it was like 10 minutes and then like there was like a tour people that got onto that bus and I was so upset. I was like, no. So then I met up with my mutual and she was so fun and she was with her friend. And so we were like, I don't know what to do. So we went through Broadway some more and like we looked, like we couldn't go into bars because you had to pay, and I was like, I'm not about to pay like $7 to get into every bar. I don't have that money. So we're just like stopping and like looking in. We're like, oh hey, like guard, what's up? And we'd be like looking, like one of us would distract and one of us would be like looking in the bar. But like we didn't see anything. And I remember specifically walking past a bar that had like a cello player out front, and I was like, why is there a cello player at a bar? Like that doesn't add up to me. And I was like, that's strange. I forgot to say this in the video, but that cello player, we followed Gavin James on Instagram, and that's the bar they were at because there was a cello player there, and I was so upset because I didn't even know, but I literally walked past where Niall was. Or something, and they went and parked their car, and they Ubered on the way to back to the back towards Broadway, and we were standing at the Bridgestone, and I remember I was like, I heard someone thinking slow hands, and I was like, what the heck? Don't test me. And I was so upset, like, I mean, I knew it wasn't him, but it was like, oh my god. And then we're walking around Broadway, and I hear this girl. She's screaming, Niall, Niall. And like, I freak out, and I turn around, and like, her friend's name was Niall. I was like, whose name is Niall besides Niall? Like, I thought it was him on the street, but it wasn't. So we're literally at a standstill. We're like, I don't know where he is. Like, he has to be at a bar. And we end up walking. We're like checking hotels to see like if we could figure out which one it was. And my friend was like, okay, so every time there's been a celebrity that's been staying at a hotel, if you just like ask them to go to the bathroom, they won't let you in. And so we're at the Hermitage, which is where Harry stayed at when he played at the Ryman. And we were like, oh hey, we need to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay. So they just like open up the doors and we walk in, and we're like, this can't be it. But we sit in the Hermitage for like 45 minutes and we're like, I don't know what to do, like, whatever. And so I was like, why don't we just go see if we can find that, like, the basketball court that Mark and one of his band members was at this morning, and see if there's any, like, hotel or whatever near it, because it was, like, a random place. Like, I was like, there's no way they would just, like, randomly, like, let's go to a basketball court. Like, they would have to, like, see it to, like, be like, oh, that looks cool, let's go there. Drive there. And we literally can't find a basketball court. Like, we knew the area that it was at, but we couldn't find the actual basketball court. And so, like, whatever, let's just turn around. So we turn around, and this, like, little, like, we thought it was a turn, like, to go on this road, but, like, it wasn't. It was just, like, a turnaround. So we turn around, and we end up behind this, like, black, like, a tinted out black, like, Escalade. And my friend goes, oh my god, it has a blue sticker on the back window. And I was like, okay. And she was like, oh my gosh, like that means like it's someone important in that car, because that's what like the Nashville like celebrity cars look like when I went to his meet and greets and stuff, and like Harry showed up at the Ryman, that's what kind of car it was. So we started freaking out, and we're like, okay, we're gonna follow this car. So we followed this car for like from downtown all the way to the Gaylord Opryland, which is like a 15-minute drive, and we were freaking out because one of the guy that met him said that he was gonna go get like drunk with friends and then go to the Opryland. So when we saw it turning to the Opryland, like I was like, this is it. Like I started crying. I was gonna throw up my McDonald's, and I was like was so like crazy. I was like screaming and everything. Like I thought this was it. Like I thought I was about to meet him. And this car ended up realizing we were following home when we showed up to the Opryland. And it like goes around the Opryland like twice. And I was like, what the heck? And then we pull up beside it and it lets these two old people out. And I was like, what the heck? That was the biggest disappointment ever. I'll see if we see buses. And so we drove around the hotel and we didn't see anything. Then there was this one guy, looked just like Niall, honestly. And so we're like, oh my god. And we like slam, and then we like turn around real quick, and we're like, okay, let's just stay calm. So like, we roll down the window, and like this guy saw us and he looks over and it wasn't him, and I was like, what the heck? But then I was like, yeah, like I need to go to sleep, like I'm really tired. So we drove back to my friend's house and went to bed, and we told the two girls, and I was like, okay, so tomorrow, like I think we should just go to guitar shops. Like there was this one guitar shop, it's called Carter Vintage Guitars, and I was like, let's meet there tomorrow at like 11. Okay, cool. So we go to sleep, me and my friend, we get to Carter Vintage at like 11, and so we walk in to like just scope it out, and it was closed. And we're like, what the heck? So we told our two friends that it was closed, and they're like, of course. And she's like, we're just gonna drive around and then we'll meet back up with you at 1 when it opens. And we're like, okay, that's fine. And so at this point, we're back in my friend's car, and one of my friends DMs me on Twitter, and she says, oh, hey, so my friend thinks that he's gonna be staying at the same, like this one hotel. Okay, like, I mean, it's worth a shot. And so we go to that hotel, and we were like walking around, and like it didn't seem like he would stay there. And so I was like, I don't know. Like we looked at the underground parking and stuff, and there was like nothing that would like give it away. So I was like, okay, well let's just like, I think it was like almost 1 at that point, and I was like, well, let's just head back to Carter's Vintage and then just look there or whatever. So we get back to the like car, and my friend was like, I really just need to get gas, is that fine? And I was like, oh yeah, no problem, like whatever. So she GPS's it to this gas station, and so we turn, like we go out, leave out, and we go and we turn left, and then we take a right, and we're going down this road, and I look up, like I wasn't on my phone, I look up, and I see 3 like tour buses parked in this parking lot, and I was like, I started screaming, and like I knew it was his bus. Like I knew the silver one was. I think the 2 black buses were Guns N' Roses, but I'll get to that. So I started screaming and like freaking out, and I was like about to, like my stomach, like when I saw the silver bus, like my heart just dropped like straight into my stomach. And I was like, park, like hurry up, park. So she like parks it, and it's just like, I was like, oh my god. Like I was like, I'm not leaving this parking lot. Like, no. I was like freaking out, and I told the 2 girls that I was meeting up that day, I was like, we found the buses. Like, I know where they are. And so they're like, oh my god, we're headed there now. And I was like, okay. And then I also texted this one girl. I was like, oh my god, the buses. Like, I was like so freaking out. I don't even know why I told people, but I was like freaking out. And so they also came. So like, it had to like, you pay, it was like $25 to park for until midnight. And my friend was like, I'm not paying that. And I was like, yeah, no. So we drive a little ways down and find like a parking lot that had like no, it was like free. And so we parked there and like walk. It was like a 2-minute walk, so it wasn't bad. And we walked back up to the buses, and I was like, okay, like I literally have to go to the bathroom. And there was a restaurant across the street, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go in here real quick, go to the bathroom, and come out as soon as possible. So we go in there, and the dude was like, how many people? I was like, can I just use your bathroom? He was like, yeah, sure. So I go to the bathroom, literally, it wasn't even gone like a minute. I come back outside from the bathroom, and I look across the street, and the silver bus is like leaving. I was like, what the heck? Did I just miss something? Because when we got there, the driver was coming out and opening up the door. Like, I thought someone was going to come off. And then I think he may have saw us, and I was like, okay, we probably should move it. I watched to see where it goes, and it goes down this road, and then it turns left. And I was like, I don't know where it went. But all I knew was it turned left. And so we just walked back up to where the other 2 buses were, and my friend shows up, and she was like, no, like, these aren't his buses. She's like, the silver one looks like his bus, but like there's so many famous people in Nashville, like it can't be his, you know, because like he had just silver buses, but there was 2 black ones with it. I was like kind of upset, but not really, because I had this gut feeling that it was his. Like, why else would there be his bus sitting there? Put up, and as soon as we're like walking, we're like, let's just walk down some and see what's going on. So we literally turn the corner, and the silver bus is parked in front of the hotel that we had walked around earlier. And I was like, oh my god. And so the girls were texting me like, oh my god, I see there's a bus right in front of this hotel. And I was like, oh my god, so we're headed there now. And my friend was like, okay, so I know what his license plate was, because she was at Atlanta show, and she was like, I know like what the license plate was. And so we like walk up to the bus and like my heart is pounding. And we just like casually look at the license plate and she goes, "That's it. Like that's the license plate." And I was like, oh my gosh. So we just sat at this table and we didn't leave this table until like, it was like 11 a.m. and we didn't leave, or it was like 12 or something. We didn't leave the table until like 8 or 9 that night, and we went inside. And I didn't leave the hotel until I think it was 11 p.m, 11:30. So we're sitting outside these buses and we're like, okay, there's like a 99% chance that it's his, but it also could be any other bus, because on the side of the bus it had like kind of like an advertisement thing at the bottom, and had my hometown on it, by the way. That literally has me shook. But we're like, I don't know. So we're just sitting at this table and we're like, would it be this hotel? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it would be. Blah blah blah. And not even like staying outside for like 20 minutes. Like, I hear these accents and I look up and it's like these 3 guys and Mark. Mark was literally walking by our table and we all were just like jaws open, everything, and we're like, oh, like what did we just find? Like, what? I was like, that's when I knew. I literally turned to everybody. I was like, I'm not leaving this hotel at all. Nope. And I was like, I swear, if y'all say a single word to anyone, I'm literally losing y'all as friends. Like, no, like, you don't say a word. They didn't, and I love them. And so we're just sitting outside, and you know, like, we're constantly seeing these nice Escalades pull up with the blue stickers, and we're like, oh my god. So like every time a car would pull up, we were just freaking out. And then these people, like, there's like 2 girls that came up to the silver bus, and they like opened up the bottom of it, you know, and they put their luggage on, and then they went back in the hotel, and then the bus left. And I was like, that's weird. And so then Mark like came back outside and like saw us, and then he was like walking down you know, the sidewalks or whatever. I'm like, oh my god. And so we're like, okay, so literally Niall is inside, because Mark, you know, Mark would always be with Niall, and if Niall was out doing stuff, Mark wouldn't be at the hotel. And so I had to go somewhere. And then we saw him like a couple more times, Mark, and then this one time, this like, in the meantime, we like walked around, and we're like, where would they go? Where would Niall be? Like, would he be at this restaurant? I don't know. So we went in there and like scoped it out, and nothing was there. Then this Escalade pulls up, and it was extra tinted. And I was like, guys, something is happening. And we had seen like hundreds of Escalades that day, but this made it stand out because the driver got out of the car and stood at this Escalade, like stood outside of it. And he was standing there for like 20 minutes. And I was like, this is suspicious. And then like after like a while of him just waiting outside, Mark comes into the car. And I was like, guys, Niall's about to come out, like, for real. The car sits there for like 5 minutes and then it leaves. And we're like, what the heck? And so I was like, why did Mark need such a special car? So we're like, he's gonna go pick up Niall because he's out somewhere, because like the band was out. We went inside the hotel, we were hungry, ordered some pizza, and the security guy was like, he walked up to us, he's like, do y'all want some water while you wait? And I'm like, yes, of course. Also, Guns N' Roses was at that hotel, and they came in. I saw Slash, and I saw the bass player with some girl, like a restaurant in like inside the hotel. Their opening act, and up in the elevator with the opening act. That was crazy, because like we went to the bathroom upstairs, and I was like, guys, what if Niall's on this elevator like right now? And like the doors open, and it's the dude with like the opening act to Guns N' Roses, and I was like, oh. Like, I was just joking. And then so we order pizza, the guy gives us water, like we're hanging out, we're like waiting to see if anyone comes to the lobby. And then like 2 hours later, Mark gets off the elevator, and I'm like, we've been sitting here for 3 hours. How did he get inside? Like, how? I don't know. We must have missed it, or he must have gone through a back way. So then we're like, great. So there's a back way we don't know about. And so whatever. So, okay, so we need to split up. So 2 of us, it was like me, Julie, and this other girl named Lauren. We went to the back entrance. because we're like, okay, if he comes back, he's gonna go through the back or the front. So we're sitting at the back entrance and we wait, and then they text in the group chat and they're like, oh my god, Mark just came back with food. And so we run back to the front, and like he was gone at that point, clearly. And so we're just waiting out front. It was like 9 or 10. And we're like, okay. So Lauren goes, okay, so clearly Niall is inside, and you know, like, there's no way he's gonna come down. And she was like, okay, if Mark comes back down, like, let's just ask him politely and be like, and just say, you know, hi Mark, like, you know, we've been sitting out here all day. Is Niall gonna come down? If not, it's fine. We were just curious. Like, whatever. Like, and then we're just gonna be like, yeah, like, we wanted to hand, like, my note that I wrote for him. And then my friend had a golf ornament that she was gonna give him. I'm like, yeah, if not, like, do you mind just giving these to him? It would mean a lot. And I was like skeptical about us doing that, but after I met Mark Monday with Niall, I feel like he would have done it. Like, Mark was so nice. Like, again, after that, and we left like 11:30. We overheard the Guns N' Roses guard, like the security guard, and Niall's security guard, I don't know his name, but he was with Mark. I've never seen him before. And they were talking, and the Guns N' Roses guard was like, yeah, so I'll see you early in the morning, blah blah, bye. The Niall's guard went to the restaurant, and Guns N' Roses went upstairs, and I was like, okay, so they're gonna be here in the morning. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave and come back like early in the morning. And when Mark left, we saw him get off the elevator to go get food. When we split up, the other guard, like, we were suspicious because as soon as Mark left, the other guard came and met him and went out, and I was like, okay, so maybe like something's going on. But then when he came back with food, we knew Niall was inside. And it was me, Lauren, and Julie were just sitting outside, out front, like, waiting for Mark to come, because we just figured if it was just us three asking, not like all 5 of us or whatever, he might do it more likely, so that's why we're waiting outside. And not even like 10 minutes later of Niall getting his food, he started tweeting about like the AMAs. Yeah, like, he wouldn't be out doing stuff and tweeting, you know, like, he's in there having dinner and like chilling out in his room because he's probably hungover and like whatever. So then, like, the guard at the stand of the door, like, whatever they're called, like, he like walks up and he's like, so I have to know, who are you here for? And we're like, we're here for Niall. And he was like, oh my god, they're in here? And I was like, don't test me. And we're like, yeah, no, he's solo now. He was like, wait, really? He was like, oh my god, well, y'all can stay out here as long as you want, like, whatever, y'all are chill, like, you're not causing any problems, you know. Like, I was like, these people are nice, because I was expecting them to like kick us out or like yell at us. And so I was like, oh my god, you're so nice. And he's like, I hope you meet him. He's like, y'all been sitting out here in the cold all day. Like, I just really wanted to know who it was. And he was like, I didn't even know he was here. Like, I just was curious. And I was like, okay. So we waited some more, and then we're like, let's call it a night. Like, it's cold. He's not gonna come out at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. He's inside doing his thing. I'll just come back in the morning. And Lauren couldn't come back in the morning. And the other girls couldn't come back in the morning. So it was just me and Julie coming back like Monday morning, the day of the show. Really go to bed, wake up at 6. I had no sleep. Was not even gonna come to the hotel because I was so tired. But I was like, no, I want to meet him. Get up. And at like 7, I laid there for like an hour. I was like, I don't want to get up. And then we get ready for the concert, whatever. I put this like sweatshirt on that I had bought because I didn't really have a jacket. And so we left and we went to the hotel because I was like, if we're gonna meet him, this is where it's gonna be. And like, I'm so emotional. Anyway, so we go to the hotel. We just sit in the lobby. Do we want to wait in the lobby? Do we want to wait outside? Because it was so much colder than it was Saturday and Sunday. And I was like, I don't want to sit in the cold. But we had a group chat and everyone was like, okay, so if Mark sees you all again, he's gonna sneak him around back because he knows that y'all are fans. Which wasn't true at all. So we're like, yeah, probably we need to be out of sight. So we decided that Julie's gonna sit out front across the street at a bench, or we both would. So we go across the street in the freaking cold, like 40 degrees, no jacket. I was frozen, couldn't feel my body for like ever. Then so we're sitting outside and we're sitting there, and I look up, and I didn't realize this until later, but I look up and I was like, there was like a boy running on a treadmill, and I was like, Julie, doesn't that kind of look like Niall? And we both look up. She's like, no, I don't know, because like all weekend we like see someone and thought it was Niall. But I was just looking at him and I was like, he looks just like Niall. Just like Niall. Can I repeat that? Just like Niall. And I was like, I really feel like that's him. Like, I don't know. Like, I was like second guessing myself, but at the same time I was like, no, like that is Niall. And so then I was like, okay, if we both sit out front, we're gonna miss him. So one of us needs to go to the back and one of us needs to stay at the front. Like, that way we have a 100% chance of seeing him leave. So I decided to go to the back, and I'm standing at this pole at like the back entrance for like, it was probably an hour and a half. I was freezing cold. Like, I couldn't feel my hands. I literally couldn't feel my body. But I was like, no, Lauren, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna do this. You are gonna meet him. Then I think Julie texted me. She's like, Lauren, this car pulled up and it looks suspicious. Come around front. And I was like, okay. So I walk up front and I meet her at the front. And I was like, maybe. So I was like, let's just go inside and unthaw. So we go inside the lobby, and I was like, okay, as soon as we see who gets into this car, like, we go back outside and we wait some more. We waited for like 15 minutes to see who would go into this car, and like nothing was happening. And then, this is when things get good. And then the silver bus returns out front of this hotel, and I was like, me and Julie both like grabbed each other. We're sitting there and we're like, oh my god. So we're like, what the heck do we do? So our gut feeling was just like, go outside and stand there. So we go outside and we're standing like away from the doors, but like not like far away from like the front doors. So I was like, Guns N' Roses came through the front doors, like why wouldn't Niall? Like, I don't know. So like, it's him. So we literally go outside, and then these two girls that were standing at the street corner come up, and they're like, oh my god, are y'all here for Niall? And I was like, kind of. And she was like, oh my god, I know this is where he is. 30 minutes ago I saw him and Mark running on a treadmill. And I was like, and a while ago I saw him running on a treadmill too. That's when I was like, that was Niall, because no one else was running on a treadmill. And why would it be a coincidence that a guy looks just like Niall running on a treadmill when Niall was running on a treadmill, and there was no one else in that room, that workout room? So just throwing that out there. Whatever, it's fine. So we're waiting, and they're like, okay, so let's just stay away from here. Like, you know, we're trying to place ourselves to see where he would go. And then we see like a band member. It was like it was his violinist come out of the hotel and like put his stuff in the bus. And then he goes next door to this like shop. And so I was like, oh my god. And then we see another member come up and put his stuff on the bus, and he went on the bus. And then I look over, and like it was the guy. He wears the same kinds of hats as Niall, and he was sitting there drinking coffee. And I was like, guys, I like was in tears. And then all of a sudden, these three really, really, really nice cars. Like, I don't know if they were Escalades. They might have been Escalades, or they were Chryslers, or like Cadillacs. Just one of those. Then all of a sudden, just three of them pull up in front of the bus, in front of the hotel, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening. Like, I didn't even know. Like, I was trying to compose myself, and then that's when things became obvious. People that were just walking by were like, who is it? Who is it? Who's on this bus? Who are y'all waiting for? Like, and then guards were like, why are y'all here? And we're like, oh, we're just waiting on Niall. And they're like, okay. I really think that they thought we were there for Guns N' Roses but not for Niall. I don't think really anyone knew that Niall was at that hotel. Like, I honestly don't, because I feel like everyone knows who Guns N' Roses is if you say them, but like if you say who Niall is, some people might question it. And so we literally stayed out there for like an hour and a half, and it was like 12, almost 12, like 11:50, 12, and they're like, okay, so like, time's probably like 12 o'clock, so anything could be happening anytime soon. And so we're all like freaking out, and then these two girls that were getting coffee come out, and they're like, doesn't that just look like Niall's bus? And we're like, these two girls, I wasn't gonna tell them, but these two girls were like, yeah, like literally it's Niall. And I was like, keep it on the low, like just seriously. And I was asking them, like, how did y'all even find this hotel? And they're like, oh, so when the band members was at Topgolf, we went to Topgolf, and then we followed their Uber here, and it led us here. And I was like, wow. I think time was passing, and this one dude, this lady came up to us at one point. She was like, who are you here for? And then this girl was like, we're here for Niall. And she was like, okay, like, she was like, all right, well, you need to like go back like further down the sidewalk. And we're like, okay. So we moved back down the sidewalk some more, and then like 20 minutes later she comes back up. She's like, so you probably just want to go because whoever you're waiting on doesn't want pictures, they don't want to like say anything, blah blah blah. And we're like, okay. So we just like go further back towards like the street corner, not towards the hotel. And they were waiting some more, and this other guard came up to us. He was rude, and he was like, why are you here? And no one was saying anything. And so me and Julie, we knew a girl that was staying in the hotel, and we're like, oh, we're waiting on our friend. And he was like, what is her name? And I said the name, and then he was like, what's her room number? And I was like, oh, I think it's like 200 something, whatever. I was like, let me ask her real fast and just double check. So I texted them. I was like, I need to know your hotel like really bad. Like, I need to know what's going on. And they texted me back, and they're like, oh, she checked out already. And I was like, oh my god. He was like, oh, have you gotten in contact with your friend? I was like, oh yeah, like I did. We're just waiting. It's probably gonna be a while. And he was like, okay. And then my sister was, and my best friend Michaela, I wasn't even gonna tell them the hotel. So if you're mad at me for not even saying the hotel, like I wasn't even gonna tell my own sister and my best friend. So like, don't be mad. So I wasn't gonna tell them, but then I really felt bad. Like I truly did really want to meet Niall with Michaela. Like I love Michaela. So I was like, okay, I'll tell you. But I was like, I swear if you tell anyone, I'm dropping you as friends, like for real. And they're like, why would I say anything, whatever. So when they were on the way up to Nashville, I told them where it was. And so they get there at like 12, 15 maybe, 12. And so they pull up and go into this parking garage. And then they saw us, right, staying outside. And they come over and they come up to us. I'm like, hey. And I was like, hey, what's up? And then like the guard comes back over and he was like, yeah, so it's been 15 minutes. I can call the police on y'all. Blah, blah, blah. You need to leave. And I was like, okay. So we're all just like staring at each other. We're like, I don't know what to do. So I was like, okay. I was like, guys, let's just walk around the back and come back around the other side and he won't see us. And so they're like, okay. So we walk around the back of the hotel and we come back behind at the other street corner, past the guards. And we're waiting. And then the Guns N' Roses guard like comes out and he's just standing in front of the cars. And I was like, clearly this isn't Niall's like vehicles, whatever. And then I think when we're staying at that street corner, the silver bus left. Like they left. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was so disappointed. And we're like, okay, so like this isn't Niall's car. Like I don't know what to do. I was like, maybe he'll just come around the back. I don't know. Because it was getting to the point where I was like, he's gonna be headed to the Ryman soon. And so literally all four of us walk to the back. We're at the stairwell and we're waiting. And my sister goes, I really need to move my car. Like, whatever. I don't want to go alone. Who wants to come with me? And I was like, I'm staying. Because I was like, I knew as soon as I would leave, something would happen. And so Julie was like, whatever, I'll go. So Kaylin and Julie left to go move the car. I sit down beside Michaela at the stairwell. Like, I'm gonna cry. So I sit down with Michaela at the stairwell and I was like, Michaela, I don't know what to do. And she was like, yeah, me either. Because I knew if the guard saw us, he would be really, really mad. And so I was like, Okay, so we sat there for like 5-10 more minutes, and I was like, all right, so I was like, let's just walk back around the other side and come up the side and see if that group of girls is still there. And if the guard is there, we'll just slip it into the restaurant connected to the hotel. And if he's not, we'll see what those girls have to say. So we walk around the hotel. My like heart is pounding, y'all. We walk around this hotel, and like I'm like peering around, and I see the guard, but the girls are still there. And I was like, oh crap. So I just like slip into this restaurant connected to the hotel. And then I was like, okay, so some hot chocolate actually does sound really nice right now. Like, I was like, I really want some hot chocolate. And so, like, at this point, I wasn't even thinking about Niall. I wasn't even, like, I was like, we're not gonna meet him. Like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, if I was gonna meet him, it already would have happened. So, I'm like, there wasn't anywhere to sit, but there was, like, this bench right by the front door. And there was, like, glass windows that faced the street and, like, the front of the hotel. And so the bench was like here, and the windows are here, and then like the restaurant part and the menu was like on this wall, and then the hotel was like connected over here. And so I was sitting on the bench, like my back was facing the glass, and I was looking towards the menu, like trying to decide if I wanted anything. And Michaela was sitting right here at the bench facing me, so like she was facing the glass windows and I was facing the menu. And I was like, I don't have money. She's like, girl, just buy something. Like, shut up, stop complaining. I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like, do you want to split something with me? Like, I really need something to warm up. So we're like warming up, and like I was like, my hands are so cold. Just like warming up my hands, and I'm so shook. And like I'm occasionally looking out at the street and like thinking about what I want to do. And then the group of girls that was standing there left. I guess they gave up because the 3 vehicles had left at that point. So they gave up, I guess, and they left. And I was reading the menu. Not even like 2 minutes after these girls left, Michaela starts going, Lauren, 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 Lauren. She's like hitting me, and I'm like, what? And I turn around and I make eye contact with Mark. And my first thought was, oh, so Niall still has to be here. Like, because we had seen Mark all day. I was like, well, he has to be here still. We're in good shape. And like, I look at Mark and I look up and like, I see a boy just standing there, and I was like, oh my God. So like, I start freaking out. I'm really about to cry. I start freaking out, and like, he's standing like here's the glass, and he's standing sideways facing like the corner, like out this way, so his back and side was kind of facing the window. And I was like, oh, like his hair looked so good. I'm like, you know, his like brown jacket, and like he was like, so cute. And I was like, it's really him. Like, I was so shook. And I turned around, and like all in this whole process of like all this happening, Mark sees me, and he, no joke, literally looks at me, looks at Niall, and he's like come on, like he goes like, if you want to meet him, he mouths this because I couldn't hear him. He's like, if you want to meet him, like, come on, like waving, like, come on, hurry up. And he's like pointing at Niall, like, you want to? And I was like, yes. And I stand up, and like I walk out the doors, and as I'm walking out the doors, I hear Mark going, hey, this girl would like to meet you. Do you want to meet her? And he goes, yeah, sure. So he turns around, and like I kind of saw his face. I can't really remember what I was looking at. But Mark starts talking, and he was like, so Niall really just wanted to come out and get some fresh air because we're headed to the Ryman. He just wanted some fresh air before we got there. And I did tell him that there would probably be a couple of fans outside. And he said he didn't really care, so he said he'll want to meet you. And I was like, oh my God. And so I like turn and I look at him, and he's standing there like staring at me. I was like, oh my God. And like I was so calm, and I was like, hi, Niall. And he was like, hi, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. And he was like, you want to get a picture? And I was like, no, like actually I just wanted to talk to you. And he looked so surprised, like honestly, like that I even said that. He was like wait, really? Like, that's, you want to talk to me? Like, you don't just want a picture? Like, made me so sad. Like, people just want pictures with them. Like, anyway, so I think what he asked, like, honestly, if he got a picture, he was like gonna get a picture first and then we would talk, kind of thing. But I was like, well, if he gets a picture, he's not gonna want to talk. not the case. He's the kindest person I ever met. So, I'm like, yeah, no, I actually just wanted to talk. And Michaela goes, oh, like, are you enjoying Nashville? Yeah, I love it here. It's the greatest city in the world. Oh my God. That's so cool. Whatever. And so, like, I turn and, like, Niall's standing, like, in front of me, like, Strinner in front of me. And I was just looking at him. And I was like, yeah, so, like, what I just wanted to say was, like, I love you so much. And he was like, thank you. But when he talked, it sounded like, thank you. Or, like, I don't even know how to explain what his voice sounds like. But he was like, thank you. I was like, you're welcome. And I was like, you know, like, thank you so much for everything you do. Like, I love you so much. I, like, owe you my world. And he was like, you're welcome. And I was like, oh my God. And so I was like, yeah, so, you know, like, whatever you do, like, in life, I want you to be happy. And, like, always be happy and never stop smiling. And, like, I went on this huge spiel about how I want him to be happy because I love him. I don't know. But he didn't even care how awkward I was. Like, I wasn't even that awkward, but, like, just what I was saying kind of wasn't, like, a conversation. It was more of, like, me waiting 6 years to finally tell him face to face. And so he was just like, thank you. Like, thank you so much. And I was like, you're welcome. And so, then, like, he was looking at me. Like, he had sunglasses on. I could see the outline of his eyes because the sun was behind him. So, like, it was, like, shining through. Like, I could see underneath the glasses. Like, he was looking at me, like, at me, no joke. Like, he didn't, like, when he looked at me like this, like, didn't move at all. Like, I sat there and talked for, like, 3 minutes, and he just stared at me the whole time, like, didn't even break eye contact. Like, oh my God. So, then he was like, yeah, so, like, this is what has me even more shook. Like, yeah, he sat there and listened to what I had to say, but then he asked me questions. Like, he asked me questions, which basically proves to me that, like, he really did want to talk. Like, he wasn't just gonna be like, all right, bye, after I was done talking. Like, he actually wanted to have a conversation. And that made me so happy. He's so nice. And, like, he's so genuine and so humble. And just, oh, he's so cute and so flawless. And, like, everything about him was just, like, flawless. And so he was like, after my huge spiel, he was like, yeah, so what are y'all up to? And I was like, oh, no, we're just hanging out. And he was like, oh, you're just looking for me, huh? And he kind of laughed. And I was like, yeah, kind of. And he was like, that's fine. I was like, you really sure about that, though? And so he was like, oh, it's fine, no big deal. And then I didn't really know what to say because I really felt uncomfortable that, like, he knew that I was looking for him. I don't know. And I was just like, I said everything I had wanted to say, and I was like, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. But now looking back, I could have been like, what's your favorite thing to do in Nashville? Or, like, whatever. But then I also was like, I don't want to hold him up too much. Like, that's rude and kind of selfish. So I was just like, it was kind of just like staying there. And I was like, yeah, so can I have a hug? And he was like, yeah, of course. And he, like, leans in to hug me. And, like, I just remember seeing, like, his body, like, coming to hug me. And, like, he put his arms around me. And he hugged me. And then really was so shook. And then he let go. And then he hugged Michaela. Like, Michaela didn't even have to ask. He just went and hugged her. And I was like, you were so kind. And so I'm really excited to perform tonight. We're headed to the Ryman now. I'm so excited. And he was like, I'll see you at the show. And I was like, all right, I'll see you too. And he was like, all right, bye. And I was like, bye, Niall. Thank you so much. And he just turned around, and we turned around, and I started screaming, like, immediately started screaming and crying. And, like, that's so embarrassing because I literally thought he was, like, leaving, and he wasn't, so he heard me. Anyway, so then Michaela was like, well, no, I really wanted a picture. And I was like, oh, girl, like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'd rather talk to him. And, like, I honestly thought if we got a picture, that would be it. Or if we talked, that would be it. Like, it wouldn't be a hug, picture, and a photo. Or hug, picture, and talk. So, yeah. So then, like, it was going to be one of the three. And so, I was like, oh, okay. So, I turned around. And I want to add, talking to him, I felt like I was talking to my best friend. Like, I literally didn't stutter, like, anything. I held eye contact. Normally, I'm, like, looking down all the time and, like, can't stare straight. But, like, I was holding eye contact with him. I felt like I was talking to my best friend. Like, everything came out so smooth and so normal. And I don't know how, but I literally, it felt like I was talking to my best friend. Like, I had found my home. Like, that's what it felt like. So, we walk up to Mark, and I was like, hey, Mark, like, I'm sorry, but, I didn't know that my friend wanted to get a picture, but is that fine if we get one? He was like, yeah, like no problem. I was like, thank you, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that she wanted one. He was like, it's fine. And Niall was talking to these two girls, so we just started talking to Mark. And so he was just like, yeah, so if we let you get a picture, please don't say where we are, like don't post it till later. And I was like, no, like I would never ever 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 do that, like no, not at all. And I was just like, I couldn't do that at all, like ever, to him. He was like, thank you so much, I appreciate that a lot. Like he was so genuinely happy that I wasn't gonna say anything. And I was like, yeah, no, like I wasn't even gonna post it until after the show. And he was like, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with posting it, just don't like show the background, and like don't do anything till like we're done here. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And so I was like, yeah, like I wouldn't say anything anyway. And I was like, I don't know if you recognize me from yesterday. He was like, yeah, I did. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm sorry, that's really weird that I did that. He's like, no, it's not even that big of a deal. Like y'all were so calm and like chill. And I was like done at that point. I had the note, and I was like, oh yeah, the note. So I like looking through my purse for it, and Mark was like, I'll take that for him. And I was like, okay. I'd rather have handed it to him directly, but I didn't want to be disrespectful. So Mark had his hand out for it, and I handed it to him. And I was like, thank you. And then I was like, so my sister and my friend literally just left to go move the car. Like they're gonna be so upset. And he literally said, he was like, well, if they want to meet them, tell them to hurry up and come here now because they're about to go to the Ryman. And I was like, you are the kindest person I've ever met. And I was talking to Mark, my sister called me. I was like, not now, to answer it real quick. And I'm like, we met Niall, and hung up. And then somehow in the conversation it fit. I can't really remember how it fit, but we started going like, where are we going today, Mark? Nashville. And he started laughing, and he was like, oh my god, y'all just love that so much. And he was like, we're probably gonna bring that back next year. And I was like, are you being serious? Bring that back next year? Like, oh, please do. So yeah, so then I was like, let me get a picture with you, Mark. And he was like, no, I can't, I'm working. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't really know why he couldn't get a picture, but that's what he told me. And I also believe 100% that Mark would have gave Niall my note, because he was so nice, and Niall was so nice. Like he didn't have to stop for me, but like he did. And like Mark didn't have to invite me to come meet him and stop Niall for me. That's like the kindest thing ever. Like you literally went out of my way so I could meet him. Like it just blows my mind that both of them were so kind and so genuine. And Niall truly, like, he wasn't like being forced to meet him. Like Niall, or meet us, like Niall truthfully wanted to like talk, wanted to meet us, wanted to like, you know, hug me. Like it was just incredible. And so then Niall was done talking to the two girls, and he goes, you changed your mind? I was like, yeah, like my friend Michaela wanted a picture, I didn't know that she wanted one. And he was like, no problem. And so Michaela and him start taking the picture, and they take it, and I start taking the picture. This is an inside joke, but I start slapping Michaela's arm. I was like, y'all are so cute, y'all are so cute. Basically, it's a long inside joke kind of thing. But anyway, so they take the picture, and it messes up. Literally, it messes up. And his kind soul, he goes, oh, it don't look right. And he literally takes her phone. Oh, well, I was like, Michaela, give him the phone. And Michaela's like, here, can you take it? I'm shaking. And so he takes the phone and retakes it because the first one didn't look right. Like, I feel like that is so kind. Like, honestly, like, most people probably wouldn't even care. Like, they'd be like, whatever, picture here, move on. Like, let's leave. But he, like, took it twice. Took a picture with her twice because the first one didn't look as good. Like, it was, like, blurry or something. And it was, like, kind of, they both didn't, like, look right in the picture. Literally retook it for her. Anyway, besides that, so his kindness literally is beyond me. So then he, like, I guess he just assumed that I wanted one too, which I mean I did, I guess. And so like I'm like unlocking, he's like leaning over my shoulder. I'm like trying to unlock my phone, and I literally say, oh my god, Harry's my icon, that's embarrassing. And I meant to say, Harry's my lock screen, that's embarrassing. And at this point I was like shook up, like really like shaking, and like my heart was pounding, like about to throw up. Like I was not as calm as I was talking to him, just because like it was starting to hit me. And so he's looking over my shoulder. That's what I meant to say. He didn't say anything to that, but that was the most embarrassing thing I ever said. Harry's my lock screen, that's embarrassing. Anyway, so I unlock my phone and he takes it from me. And we pose for our picture, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, what pose should I do? Should I just do a normal pose? So I just, like, kind of just do a normal pose. And, I was just, like, looking at him in my phone, like, on the camera, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is freaking real. And when he takes a selfie, he literally goes, like, way up high with it. Like, I was like, what? Because, like, when I take one, it's, like, straight out, but, like, he was, like, up. And I was, like, looking up. And, so that happened. So then he's like, here you go. And I was like, alright, thank you, Niall. And he was, alright, thank you, see you at the show. And I was like, alright. And he was like, it better be a good one. And I was like, alright. And it will. And I was like, bye, thank you. And so then I literally walked on the sidewalk, literally couldn't even stand. Was about to fall over in the sidewalk and cry, like, no joke. Like, I couldn't even, my legs couldn't hold me up. And I was like about to be sick. And so my sister calls me. She's like, where are you? Where are you? Where's Niall? Where's Niall? Where's Niall? I was like, we're walking around the side of the building, but like I was so shook, shook up that like I don't think I was making sense. And I told them to go to the back because like they're about to leave for the Ryman, so I assumed that's where they would go. I don't know. So, but then we get to where they were. I saw them, and Michaela was like, go to the coffee shop. So I was like, go to the coffee shop now. So they run around the corner and go to the coffee shop and meet him. And I'm standing at the street corner. And like I'm like hunched over. Like all of a sudden it just hit me. Like hunched over, about to throw up. Threw up in my mouth a little bit. Like swallowed it back down. I was like, god dang. Crying my eyes out. I called my mother. She's the first one I told. Called my mother. Was screaming at her on the phone. Like crying, and she was like, oh my god, did Caitlin meet him? And I was like, she's in there now, meeting him, whatever. So we walk around to the restaurant thing, and so then they come out and Drew's like on the floor crying, Caitlin's like freaking out, screaming, and I was just like, after I was done freaking out for like 45 minutes to an hour, I was so happy, and I'm still so happy. Like it'll randomly bring tears, and like just because I vividly remember every single detail. Like, Niall standing in front of me, like, seeing his eyes stare at me. Mark, like, talking to me. Literally the picture, like, I remember the whole 8 minutes so vividly. And when I met, like, Ed, and when I met, Five Sauce, and all, like, things like that. Like, I can't really remember everything fully. But this, I can, like, remember everything and, like, see it in my mind. And he's the nicest person ever. So, I'm sorry this video was so long. And the show was amazing, by the way. Best show ever. Niall was so happy up there. And I loved seeing him, like, up there strumming his guitar. And, like, I was so happy. And then, people were, like, tweeted us. And they literally were like, we saw y'all at the venue. And I was like, that's kind of creepy, but I like it. No, I'm kidding. But I was kind of creeped out. I was like, why didn't you come up and say something instead of like tweeting my Twitter? I don't know. People were like finding my Snapchat and like Instagram. I was like, how did you do that? I've never tweeted out any of that information. I don't know how they found it, but okay. So I don't know. I believe in fate because I wasn't looking for him. We were looking for a gas station. That's what put us there. Like the guard getting rid of us and us thinking to go around and come back, and then like the guard still being there, that's fate. Mark seeing us from the day before, stopping him, that's fate. Like Caitlin and Julie going to park their car, so then it was just me and Michaela, and it was less like nerve-wracking. That's fate. Like honestly, like I truly, like, people always say it's gonna happen when you least expect it, but I 100% believe that because it happened when I least expected it. Like I wasn't expecting him to come out again. I honestly thought he had left, and if he had already left, and if he hadn't left, he was gonna go through a back way. Like, I wasn't looking for Niall when I found him. Like, it was just incredible, and I couldn't ask for a better experience because, like, I don't know. it just like shakes me up because like I literally thought about this for so long. I don't know. But yeah, so the concert was amazing. Niall was happy. Niall is so happy. He's so amazing. And I hope all of y'all get to meet him one day. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it was so long. But yeah. Bye.